This episode of the Play the Game podcast is brought to you by LoneWolfPaintball.com. And when it comes to paintball, Lone Wolf is the name you can trust. They have been in the game since the very beginning as Michigan's premier field and supplier since 1987, and Lone Wolf has built a legacy of excellence, passion, and service that runs deep in the game. From their top-tier customer service to same-day shipping on all orders, Lone Wolf makes sure that you are locked and loaded with your new gear fast. No waiting around, no hassle, just the best brands in paintball delivered straight to your door. They've got it all. Markers, loaders, tanks, apparel, accessories, and more from all of your favorite brands. And whether you're just getting started in the game or gearing up for your next big event, LoneWolfPaintball.com has everything you need. Be sure to check out their YouTube channel at Lone Wolf Paintball and follow them on Instagram at Lone Wolf PB to stay up to date on all the latest gear, exclusive sales, and community content. At Play the Game Podcast, we are incredibly grateful for Lone Wolf's continued support, and we cannot wait for you to become a part of their growing community. Head on over to LoneWolfPaintball.com right now and gear up with the best in the game. PTG family, thank you so much for being here. Are you interested in getting your brand in front of the Play the Game community? We are opening up advertising opportunities on the Play the Game podcast, and if you've got a company, a product, or a brand you want to promote to our passionate and growing community, this is your chance. Please send us over a message on Instagram at Play the Game Podcast to learn how we can collaborate and help you grow your business through the PTG platform. Once again, head over to Instagram, send us a message at Play the Game Podcast, and we look forward to connecting and helping you build something truly amazing together.
What's going on, PTG Nation? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This episode, we finally got him, the big kahuna, Johnny Luckau from Paintball Fit, one of the masterminds behind the scenes. Each Paintball Fit member that we've had on has always attributed so much of their success to Johnny and his paintball mind and his ability to help the team in so many different ways off the field. So we knew we had to get him on. We've wanted him on for quite some time, and this episode absolutely does not disappoint. So without further ado, we're going to hop in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon. Great shot by all the guys. Tyler Harmon saved that game.
He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
Good morning, good evening, good day, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. We hope you're doing amazing out there. Welcome to another episode of PTG. This is a really, really big one. We got the big kahuna on the show, the top dog, the champ. You guys have been dominating, and we're excited to talk to you about what's been going on. We have John Luckau, and he is one of the front runners for PB Fit and the mastermind behind a lot of the big plays, also owner of Hydra. And obviously you and your family are doing amazing things in paintball, and all of you work so hard for the success that the team has seen. But congratulations, first of all, on everything. How you doing, man? It's good to see you.
Doing good. John's my father, by the way. I'm Johnny.
Oh, okay. So there's a difference.
Yeah, he goes by JD. He like actually named me Johnny, so I wouldn't be a junior.
I see. Okay,
oh, wow.
My mistake.
I'm actually trying to joke around. But
yeah.
People message me all the time saying John and JD, and it's completely normal.
It will never happen again. I promise that.
Fact.
Yeah.
No, I thought Johnny was just, nickname for John.
Yeah.
And your dad always, knew him as JD.
As a kid, because like kids would tell their parents they're going to go stay at Johnny's house. And they're like, no one names their kid Johnny. You're lying. It's not a real name. But,
that's funny.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. So Johnny, thank you for taking the time to be here with us, man. And we want to, obviously give you guys your flowers, because what you've accomplished is something that not very many pro paintball teams have accomplished in the history of this game. To be able to win multi-championships, you guys have won a World Cup. You have a series title now. Those are big accolades that you can check off the list. You know what I'm saying? So let's kind of just start from the grassroots. And obviously we've had the perspective from a couple of other entities within the PB Fit organization. But for you, how did this all start? And, what does, beside all the wins and all the accolades, what does it all mean to you? What does Paintball Fit mean to you?
What does Paintball Fit mean to me? So for us, what Paintball Fit and just paintball in general has done is keep our family close together. So like most people, they grow up together in, you know, same household. You even have your cousins living nearby, and like you all hang out as kids. But once you graduate and you go to college and, you know, life happens, everyone moves away and they kind of have their own thing. You kind of will see them on holidays if you're lucky, to be honest. But what paintball has done for us personally has brought everyone back home. So everyone who had moved away and got other jobs and lived different places, it refocused everyone, brought everyone back to Waxahachie just so we could all play together. And it's been amazing. So like every time we get the opportunity to travel and play tournaments and even practice on the weekends, it's the end goal that we're living now, if that makes sense. So like, even if we had all the money in the world, this is what we'd be doing with our time. And it's a blessing for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a very great place to be when you're in a situation where money wouldn't change what you're currently doing, right? Yes. And what you guys have with Paintball Fit, and for the listeners that maybe aren't aware, it's family integrated team. And you guys really live up to that with everything you guys do with the field, with the team, with the program. It's really unique. It's special. And like Tyler said, it truly is a shining light in paintball, because you guys have come through and really just turned, you know, professional paintball kind of on its head, you know, coming through as rookies and winning the World Cup. That's just still an incredible feat. And then you guys won the first 2 events this season, made it back to the finals at World Cup again. So like, I don't remember a team coming through and ever having that kind of success their first 2 years, you know, I guess outside of like Dynasty in 2001, but again, that's a totally different era, right? Totally different type of paintball that was being played. Yeah. So what you guys have done is really phenomenal, and it paves the way for up and coming players to really recognize, look, like, you don't have to have massive budgets. We just have to care a lot and play a lot together. You know, we just have to care a lot, you know, and commit to each other and build chemistry, build teamwork, and do all the little things. And you can be a world champion on the biggest stage.
Absolutely. Like everyone has this opportunity. You just go to your local field. And for us, what helped us get going is we had a local field around here that just had recreational paintball. They didn't have tournament paintball. So like we had kind of played at like a D4, D3-ish level at the time. And they allowed us to come in, partner with them, and start doing the tournament side of it. But like that opportunity is open for paintball players everywhere. There's so many paintball fields out there that have absolutely zero tournament paintball scene.
Yeah.
They will allow you to come in there and do that for them because they don't want to do it. It's that simple. It's not worth their time and money because they make so much more on the recreational side, and they can just kind of turn and burn it. And it is what it is. We're all little prima donnas in comparison to the rest of them. But that opportunity is open for everyone who's willing to put in the work and go for it. And you don't have to come from money or anything.
It's so important what you're saying too, because the opportunity, like you said, it is there, and it would also bolster your local paintball communities if you were to bring that into their recreational aspect that they already have. You're going to get some new individuals coming out of the woodwork, literally, and going out, and they're like, yeah, I want to play some tournament ball. And then who knows, maybe their nephew is like, I'm not ready for tournament ball, but now we have another player who's playing rec ball because his brother or his uncle or got involved on the tournament side. So they all collaborate and work so well together. We have to make sure that our local parks, that's something we talk about on here all the time, that every local park in America is doing well, the energy's going well, and there's certain principles that you guys have applied to your park, like, water and some snacks. You guys need a snack? Here, have a snack. You need some water? Have a water. You want a popsicle? It's hot outside. We got popsicles. You make the energy right. You hook them up. You take care of the people. Yeah. Whatever they need.
That's our mom for sure. That's Sarah. She took the team mom part of it when we were playing together, very serious, and then applied that to the entire field. And it's been really nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'll never forget when I came out to do a clinic. I think it was 2020 or 2021. It was just like, I was so surprised. I've been to so many fields across the globe, and to see like coolers full of waters and snacks and in the whole little pro shop. They're like, yeah, this is free. This is just for if you're playing here today, like you come in and get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or a nice cold water. I was like, what? So you don't charge for this stuff? Like that's pretty great hospitality. But those are the kind of things that customers remember. It's very meaningful to a customer. might cost you 75 cents for the water, but to a customer, like that's a lasting impression. You know, and that is how you build loyalty. You know, you have loyalty to your customers are going to have loyalty to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're already paying enough for paint as it is. So yeah, trying to incorporate as much as possible and make it easier for them.
Yeah. And you also, for everybody out there that doesn't know, you're part owner or owner of Hydra. You started it. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It all started with knee pads. So
yeah.
But before Colt was famously known for hurting his knee, I had a lot of knee problems, even starting playing paintball to begin with. So I would wear weightlifting knee sleeves because the knee pads at the time were too bulky. So then like they would get caught up in your pants. So then when you'd go to slide, your knee would just smack the ground instead of like being able to get over to your hip. So I started wearing those instead. And the more I wore them, like people would get into paintball and I'd like, no, just buy these. And I would just send them the link to buy whatever knee pads were. They were the Ray-Ban ones at the time. You had to order them from like the UK. But I would get everyone to wear those. So there was a while there in Texas, everyone just had these weightlifting knee sleeves on from the UK. And then my dad, he's a cobbler, so he has sewing machines and all that kind of stuff. And then eventually I'm like, you know, it would be nice to have a little bit more padding on the front. So I'd have him like sew on the padding for me personally.
Custom.
And just, you know, obviously already selling them for other people the whole time. It just kind of made sense. And we found a nice after and went from there.
Yeah. Damn.
Nice.
He wasn't going to sit there and keep selling them for everyone.
Yeah. You were raising the stock up on that other company. They were like, man,
100%, yeah.
Texas loves us. Yeah, man. So it started with the knee pads. How did tournament paintball start for you? What did that look like? We have the perspective from a couple other individuals, but what about you?
So for me, my dad took me out to play. I was like 7, and he called them champion days or whatever. And he does that for a lot of the youth now too. And he would bring me out and we'd go play paintball at Fun on the Run or Hit and Run at the time. And basically he would just, everywhere I would go, he'd just be over top of me and just like putting people up and just making it fun and where I'm not getting blasted and just showing me a good time. He didn't take me out back and shoot me first to see if I could handle it. That would have just ended it. I never would have played it again. Like every time I hear that story, it's just awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the way, because that's not what it's gonna feel like in the game either, you know. So it's like it's way worse.
Stop for years, and I'll still just never let anyone just shoot me. Like, get the fuck out of here.
100%.
But yeah, so he did that with me for a few times, and then he was already playing tournament paintball at the time with his brothers actually, and around 8, 10 started getting up and playing a little bit more, and then started playing tournaments around 12, and yeah, it's all him. And that was basically just what we did on the weekends. Like yeah, it was really nice. That was kind of just like our thing.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you know, you girls, parties, cars, that kind of stuff, stop playing as much. And then to be honest, like we did take paintball really seriously around here, but Texas wasn't what it was then. There really wasn't like there wasn't a direct route to play pro. The scene wasn't anything crazy. You'd kind of go to your local field and you'd be lucky to be able to play 3-on-3s. You'd run drills, that kind of stuff. And then you'd just kind of watch serial killers. Like that's kind of the whole gist of it. But even the local legends at the time, they were really famous for just playing national events. It wasn't like one or anything like, oh shit, they travel to play paintball. That's amazing. And that's kind of the extent of what it was growing up. But yeah, I played.
What years was this?
This was when I was 12, it was 2004. And we played a lot of tournaments then actually. So at the time in Texas, no one practiced. There was just different local tournaments at different fields. So you just go to a different field and there'd be a 3-man, then a 5-man. And there's an online form called Flag Station. And some of the stuff was on PP Nation, but most of it was on Flag Station here in Texas. And everyone would talk trash to each other and they'd post their little local tournaments and you'd go and try to win the guns. And it was a lot of fun though. I was just the 12-year-old kid playing with adults, and that's how it was. There really wasn't a lot of other kids. You'd kind of see them at the field and you're like, oh, whoa, there's another one. And then you kind of some friends, but it was never really enough to like start a whole team.
All right, my fault for dating you. How old are you? How like we got to know your age. We got to date you.
I think I'm 33.
30. Yeah, I was gonna say 33.
Okay.
12 in 2004. You're 2 years younger
All
than
right.
me.
So you're 33 years old.
Purpose.
Yeah. But those moments from when you were 7 to 12, that's a long time. That's 5 years that you got to play paintball just with your father, running around, having fun, enjoying the game. And I think that those moments are actually more important than we give credit to. There's this like rush, it seems like, for people to obviously get involved in the tournament stuff and, you know, become as good as you can, as quick as you can. But I would actually urge you to enjoy those moments because I think that they're the most pivotal.
Yeah. So everyone, even from those generations, I have all of those friendships now. So like I was 12 and I'm seeing them as adults, but in reality, they were like 17, 18,
Yeah.
early 20s, that kind of stuff. But we have great relationships with all of those people. They all still now play at Paintball Fit and have all slowly come back, and they all have their own kids playing.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to Billy Blaine. He's got young Phoebe coming
Let's
up.
go, Billy.
Yeah, she's like 12, 13-ish now, and she's going to be one of the new Vibe players very soon. She's
There we go.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
all coming full circle, but it's yeah, what you're talking about, the nostalgia looking back and being able to play and win tournaments with your dad was amazing. So like even after, you know, you grow up, you go through high school, dad had cancer, paintball really kind of slowed down, move away, do the college thing. I'd come back because I actually tore my meniscus and I was hoping it wasn't ACL, but it ended up just being meniscus, but I had to get that repaired. While I'm back and getting that done, I realized my middle brother, Brody, is playing paintball with my dad. I'm like, oh, we're doing this again? Like, all right, this is sweet. So I wasn't even like really healed or anything, but I'm like, well, I'm coming out. Like, let's go. And we all played together and I had the best time ever because I had already won tournaments with my dad. I'd never really ever played paintball with Brody, and Colt at the time wanted nothing to do with it at all. And we went out and played. I'm like, well, now we need to go like find a tournament to play. And we did it. So we went out and played a local tournament and we got second place with a lot of local guys. Like if we won, we'd probably never be here, to be honest. But the fact that we got that close, and I'm like, well, I have to win with Brody now. And it lit that fire, and we never looked back from there and just kept going. And yeah.
That's interesting, actually. That's interesting that you say that if you guys won, maybe you would have been like, okay, that was cool, on to the next thing. But since you didn't, it was like, no, we gotta work for this and win and make sure that we accomplish this together.
We got second place, and I actually decided to hold off moving back. So because I had another tournament in like a month, I'm like, well, we're gonna win that one. And then yeah.
Nice. Did you win that one?
We did. And then we ended up winning the series, and then we won the next series, which was like an off-season type series, if that makes sense. It was like all in the cold months. But
yeah, and this was all before X Factor really came onto the scene, because I feel like that was massive for paintball in Texas, you know, when they turned pro. And
it was. So X Factor was killing it down there. Not when I was a kid, but when I had come back, X Factor had already gone through that whole progression.
Right.
When I was a kid, I think it was like there was still the whole Addicted and B Slap and Smart Parts Factory all going on. So it was like right before they really took off. But when I had come back, X Factor had already been established, killing it, and like really was bringing up Texas paintball. But even with that, they're down in San Antonio, which is like 4 hours from us. So like at the time, if you really wanted to get like a good practice or whatever, you had to go down south, or you had to go, well, it's still south, but you had to go down to Houston with the BCK guys. But pretty much if you were playing a local tournament then, and any team came up from Houston, you were screwed. Like they beat the hell out of everybody. Like North Texas paintball just wasn't on the same page as down south for whatever reason. They all had like DSB on their jerseys for Dirty South Ballers, and yeah, it was a whole deal.
Yeah. Texas is massive too. It's a huge state, so lots of good pockets of paintball. And so when you were going through, I want to kind of know about your earlier years, like going through high school. Were you still involved in everything through high school, or was that when the cars, the girls, the parties, all that kind of took over? Or have you? Yeah.
I was definitely more focused on high school than paintball, but I did have friends that still kind of played. and then they would, bring it up, and I'm like, all right, well,
Yeah.
let's go do this. Because they, to be honest, it really comes down to there would be local teams that start up, and then I'm like, hey, there's this team that thinks they're really good, like that kind of stuff. So then we like kind of get the band back together and go,
Yeah.
beat up on them, if that makes sense. But like looking back on it, you're like, oh man, that was awful for paintball. But they, they would come in, they're all talking trash, so then you feel like you have to. Like,
Hey,
we get back together and we.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, but that's kind of the extent of it for the most part. During high school years, there wasn't a whole lot of playing paintball in tournaments because, again, my dad had cancer, so like it was hard to. One, paintball's still expensive, so pretty much everything was just focused on that.
Of course,
but
yeah, your dad's an amazing individual, man. You have
like
absolutely
without having parents like we have, none of this would work whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like they've showed us so much love and understanding through like everything that we've been through. It allows us. He's actually calling me right now.
Yeah, his ears are tingling. He's like talking about
Got a spider sense.
Yeah,
but without them treating us the way they do, it shows us how to treat other people, if that makes sense. And like, I just can't say enough nice things about them. And seeing how they've treated everyone in their life, like they've been able to embrace. How do I say this? Like the crazy people that'll be walking around, like maybe
of course,
like meth or whatever. They show them so much kindness just naturally that I still see people like that have nothing going for them. I'm pretty sure they're homeless. I'm not exactly sure, but they come in the shoe repair and they just want to talk to them because they treated them with so much respect back then that they're not buying anything, they're not doing, they just want to talk with them. And like, I'm like, all right, that's very, very powerful because people remember it.
Yeah. Well, it's just like it starts just like we're talking about at the field with a simple glass of water or maybe a snack if you're hungry. These basic necessities, and as humans, we have these basic necessities, and we're a part of this tribe, and we're all one tribe. Whether you want to remember that or not, it's the truth. We are a tribe, and we all need we need that. It's a part of our requirement as a living, breathing human being is that connection. So when you have people that are able to connect in that way and open their heart and, just see them for human to human, as opposed to, oh man, you look, whatever excuse you want to put on it, is a really special thing. And I know that stems from their faith and, their love of God. And I know that is something that is so important to you and your team. So maybe we can kind of talk about that of, them growing up and their journey and how it's blossomed into this organization that's so successful now.
How my parents grew up?
Yeah. Like, have they lived in Texas their whole entire lives?
No, my parents, I guess even bigger backstory. My grandpa came over after World War II from Mormon missionaries. They basically came over, and like anyone who didn't have the man of the household, they just grabbed up all the families and shipped them back over. Wow. And so they got shuttled over to Utah, and they taught my grandpa shoe repair. And so then obviously my grandpa met someone, whatever. They have my dad taught him shoe repair. My dad met my mom in Orem, Utah when he was 12 and she was 10. They were like kids. Like she had just come over with my Aunt Deanie as her friend, and I guess they hit it off or whatever as children do. I don't know.
No way, dude. That's crazy.
But yeah,
that's awesome.
That's basically how they met. They grew up in Utah, going to the church, doing the whole thing. And once they got a little bit older, my grandpa, there's only so many people in Utah. Like I'm pretty sure in the DFW Metroplex, there's more people than the entire state of Utah. Wow. So my grandpa was trying to figure out how to do more with the shoe repair. And he heard about Texas, came down here and saw everyone wearing boots, and there's so many people. And he's like, hey, we got to go there. Like that just makes sense. So he packed up the whole family and moved to Texas and started their shoe repair here. And at one point there was like 10 or 11 different shoe repairs that they had for like each one of the kids all around the Metroplex. But yeah, they same thing. Come down here, still did all the church stuff, and while they had all of the street repairs going, that's when my mom got those paintball ticket things.
Yeah.
And she got that from my dad for his birthday, and took all the brothers out, and they went and played, and then they got hooked. So then they were all playing paintball tournaments and whatever together at the time in the woods. I think it was the GTS back then. Steve Rabikoff ran it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where it all started.
That's amazing. Yeah, once you play paintball once, it's over. You're done. You're hooked.
100%. It's as soon as you shoot someone else. That's
the
real one that no one talks about. But the feeling of shooting someone with a paintball is really,
Well, and once again, this is like hardwired into our DNA. We come from hunter gatherers, and we had to go out into the wild and catch food. It's like only within the last couple 100 years have we, I don't know how you want to say it, maybe softened a little bit to where we have the luxuries of not having to be out there in the wild the way that we have been for a long time, and these types of things, when you're able to go out on the paintball field and be with your best friends, or maybe you're going against a rival and you get to have those big moments, and then it taps into something kind of like on the DNA level, where that joy of running around on the field, playing cat and mouse and trying to outsmart each other, make a better shot than someone, it is captivating, dude. And we see it all the time, everyone that goes and plays, they want to play more.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. So how often does that happen at the field, where you guys have like a new player and they're going crazy, just like so stoked that they found paintball? Is that a pretty common theme?
It's pretty common. Yeah. Usually once a week we get new crowds, and we try to do a good job of keeping them together and playing with people who aren't going to just completely demolish them. That's kind of why we had to incorporate the night ball stuff. And we kind of use that as our funnel to get new people into tournament style paintball, because sometimes on the weekends it's very intense and everyone's there for practice.
Yeah.
But for the night ball stuff, what we've done is it's $50, and that's everything you need. So you can just show up, and that includes your rental, your mask, whatever. And then basically what we do is we have all the paint caddies out there. So you just fill up your loader. And so everyone plays hop a ball, and it's first 5 on the box. So then the people don't need a team. They don't even need to know anybody. And they just start getting incorporated in. They meet a lot of new people.
Yeah.
They could be playing, there's a guy with jeans to their right, or then they have Colt to their left, and they don't know who Colt is at the time. They're just like, like defensive linemen playing paintball. They're like, all right. And then, but it's great. And then the more they get playing and Colt's talking to them and kind of joysticking them out there, they have a good experience. And we've done really well with having those people come back and having a good time. And like, for the most part, they will just play that style of paintball for a couple months before they really start progressing. And what naturally happens is people will be out there trying to get extra reps in, and then they'll be like, hey man, you're pretty good. You should come try it for my team. And then it's history.
Yeah. Well, it's energy, man. You guys create the great energy out there too. Colt's he's such a dog, dude.
Yeah.
We were jawing off at each other at the tournament. I just love his intensity, his passion, because that's me too. We're both extremely passionate players, and I can't say enough good things about what your guys' camp has done in pro paintball. As competitors, always want to beat you every time that I play against you, but as a fan of this game, the type of pedigree that you guys are pushing, the camaraderie, the passion, it's all everything that we need in this sport. So thank you on behalf of, I know, the paintball community, everything that Paintball Fit is doing out there. And at the local fields too, you guys are setting the foundation of the way it is done. You guys have created new ways of playing paintball, new formats that you have almost every weekend that you're having fun with the local community. And that's why your guys' field is so successful. If you have a paintball field out there and you want the blueprint, just do everything that Paintball Fit is doing at their field, and you will have a successful company. I'm telling you.
Yep. If you have any questions, just reach out. We'll walk you through it.
Yeah, I think that's another thing that's so amazing. You guys are always willing and excited to help other field owners, players, individuals, that are on their journey, even if they're not your own customers, which is pretty cool. But I mean, we've talked about it on the show for a long time. It's so important to have paintball fields in the world that provide a good experience. There's a lot of fields out there that do not provide a good experience. So you might only get to capture a new player one time. You might only have one opportunity to hook that player and make them fall in love with the game. And if they come out to the field and have bad equipment, bad paint, bad rental gear, and you know, people are yelling at them and they're not enjoying it, they're going to leave and say, and they get shot and they're like, that hurt and it sucked. Paint wasn't straight, like, you know, all the bad stuff. They're like, I'm never coming back. This was not fun. I don't enjoy this. I'd rather spend $150 somewhere else.
Right.
You know,
we get one shot to try to hook and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. And so the way you curate that experience is so important for the game itself. And you guys do such a fantastic job. So if, you know, any field owners are listening to this, please understand how important it is, because you talk about growing the sport and making sure paintball's on the right path. It really does start at the fields. That's an individual's first exposure to the game. And if it's not done correctly, it's a big problem. You know, you never get those players again. So
everyone wants to point fingers at the NXL for like not growing paintball. Oh my God.
It's not their responsibility, really.
My parents are literally at my front door right now.
Go get them. Go get them. Bring them in. Heck yeah.
That's funny. They called. He didn't answer. They're like, we got to go over there.
Yeah. We got to check on the boy. Make sure he's all right.
I love it.
The camera, there's something going on with the camera. Is that it pans? It's like moving.
Yeah. He's got the like the tracking system. Yeah. Look at that. He's got the beautiful Christmas setup back there. You got the snow, the little village. That's awesome.
Fine china. Got the fine china there. Check it out on the YouTube. And then I do want to ask him some more about Hydra, because really interesting what he's doing with all that. Yeah. And shout out to everybody in the chat as well, in the PTG Discord. We'll get to those guest questions. Also, the Summit Awards have just opened, and you can go and vote for PTG for Best Podcast of the Year. There's a ton of PTG fam members that are in the voting there. We're going to be sounding off in our Discord chat and making sure that they all get the votes. If you want to join the chat, go to our Patreon at our website and check that out. Absolutely. What's going on?
Here they are. Hello.
Yo.
I'm sorry we bothered Johnny. Yeah,
no, it's great to see you.
All good.
Have an amazing day.
You too.
See ya. That's awesome. All right. We got moms on the show. Let's go. Heck yeah. All right. So I was just talking about, I want to ask you some more questions about Hydra, what you got going on there. I think we actually have a question in the chat as well from our members, but you started with the knee pads, then how did it kind of progress and become what it is today? You have a whole booth that you set up at the tournaments, really successful, doing a great job with branding. So let's kind of start from the beginning there.
I'm sorry, what was the question? The beginning of Hydra?
Yeah, and then, well, we know it was the knee pads, but how has it become what it is? What do you got going on in the text? Who's bothering you? What do you got?
I was just making sure my phone was on silent.
Okay.
But,
all right.
Yeah, knee pads, and then it just kind of naturally progressed from there, just doing the next product and the next product. And for the most part, it was a lot of it done by collaborating with other brands and trying to incorporate how we can use the brands that we already support and then just try to team up on it. So like we've been really big on working with JT and GI through the whole time, because naturally we were part of the Imperial program all through the divisional ranks. So it just kind of made sense. And instead of doing like Paintball Fit as the branding everywhere, we would do Hydra on the pants and the packs and that kind of stuff. And that's kind of where it all went from. And
natural progression in business.
Yeah. Just finding the next product that we already like and we already use. And
nice. Well, yeah, you guys have definitely built a very solid brand. I mean, the product is really top notch. I wore the Hydra pads a few years back. It's funny you say you've had knee issues, and so you like a thinner pad. Because of my knee issues, I like a thicker pad because actually my range of motion isn't great. So on the back, I need like a little thickness on the back side, not so much the front side, because it gets difficult to get my heel to my butt, if that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everyone's definitely unique, and before I had these knee issues, I liked the McDavid pads, which were like kind of similar to what you were talking about. Those were the what are they? I think they were volleyball knee pads, and they were just super thin, very, like minimalistic. And Hydra was kind of the first to come out and create a paintball knee pad like that. Mm-hmm.
So with ours, it was actually more of a knee sleeve. So you actually have a little bit more of that material in the back for that support. But our original ones we came out with were that 7mm behind the knee,
Yeah.
which is actually what Colt likes. So we're going to kind of reintroduce those with the extra padding on the front. But when I do that, I'll send you some and you let me know.
Okay.
If that helps. But
All right. Nice.
a real big fan of. So a lot of the smaller front guys, they'll like the ones with the cutout behind, just because it gives a little less tension on your hamstring when you're running. But for the bigger guys, you want the support. And if you're having that issue, like what you're talking about, it's actually really nice. And it almost helps you accelerate a little bit more.
Oh, I can use that.
Yeah.
I can use that. A little bit of extra speed would be nice.
Getting out of that.
You got to get out of that back center.
Right.
Nice. I love it, man. Well, Johnny, I want to dive into your paintball mind because, again, having Trenton on, having Colt on, like both of them really attributed a lot of their personal successes and Paintball Fit success to your ability to see things on the field and coach and help and basically assist a lot of what's going on. So when did you assume that role and kind of decide I'm going to take a step back from playing and pursuing this thing in that direction and try to really focus on how I can help the chess match part of the game?
Yeah. A lot of it's never really been like a straight up decision. A lot of it kind of gets made for me. So like we practice so much and apparently I'm so injury prone that I tear my hamstrings and calves and whatever all the time. So it's just, there's always something, but so kind of like as the weekend goes, I physically can't hang with the rest of the guys and what they're able to put out, just being honest.
Sure.
But I've always been able to be the one to sit back and kind of pick things apart. So, but even when I'm playing really, really well, and with all the layouts and all the practice, like I'm playing right there along with everyone. We're playing against each other and manufacturing the looks, doing this and going through all the spots and all the reads, which helps me know the field like the back of my hand already. And then once it gets to those last kind of days of the layout where I kind of need to step back anyways, I'm able to just dive in on each individual's, their reads, their different spots or their progressions down the field, all of that kind of stuff. Some people don't need it as much as others, but still very critical. And it is a hard time to make that decision because like naturally you want to play all the time, like the ego talking. But then there's that point where, if you're on the field, you can't pick up these tendencies that are going on in the match and make that adjustment because you don't get all the information. And I still haven't found someone that can do that to the level that I can do that. If that makes sense. Not trying to sound conceited or anything like that.
No, but what is it that allows you to have that capacity to see the field that way? What attributes are?
I don't know.
Experience. Hey. Time behind the gun, experience. Yeah. I'm sure like watching film, understanding your opponents. I think, like you said, playing the field helps a lot. Even at the tournament, I always see you on the field, walking the field like most players should be, but it's a lot of time on the field. I know for me personally, I learned so much throughout the event. Like we have a limited amount of time with layouts being dropped only 1 week before, you could practice, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 times on Saturday if you're Paintball Fit, but you still have limited days, and then when you get to the event, you see teams do things that maybe no one in your practices did. So you got to go out there and look at it and be like, what did this player see when they were in this spot? And I always see you kind of on the field, looking at these things, and I think it's really just putting in the work and having the experience to be able to process the information that you're absorbing. Like you can't rush it. I don't think that's something you could bring. You can't just bring a scout on board and be like, okay, your job is to go and look for all these things because they just, it's not the same. You got to have the experience to understand this stuff. So it is a very difficult thing. And it's actually something I love about our game right now is it seems like all of the teams are actually building out their coaching staff more than ever. It was a massive feat when coaching became such a prominent thing in professional paintball to where it became obvious that it was really important to have a good coach, but you just had one, and the coach was responsible for everything, scouting and setting, the time to be there, play calling and all this stuff. But now you're starting to see all these teams, they have, they might not be clearly defined roles, but they do have like 2 to 4 people that are in the pit that are like, okay, you're responsible for watching, where they're running off the break or who they're shooting off the break. You're responsible for watching our guys. You're responsible for this, kind of like in, football, you have a wide receiver coach. You've got your quarterback coaches, you've got so many different coaches, offense, defense. You have so many different coaches that, they're specialists, and it allows them to really focus on, one particular thing, whether it's calling the lines and making sure the right personnel is on the field and, then play calling. And so, yeah, it's invaluable. And I think it's probably a huge part of Paintball Fit success. Anytime I watch film and it pans into the pits, the conversation that you guys are having are very high level conversations. I think this is a huge part of why you guys are able to do what you do. You're able to find players that you could pick on. You pick up on quick, secondaries very fast. You're like, all right, this player likes to go there. They're going to quickly make this move if we're not in this spot. So be ready for it. And you guys pick up kills like that all the time. And, the average viewer doesn't quite understand how important those little conversations are, but it's the difference between winning and losing. Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously the guys still have to go produce.
Of course.
So like having someone to trust your info, trust the adjustment, and then be able to go out there and just execute is, it's awesome.
Well, yeah, at the highest level, it's information wars. That's what we're all a part of this war, trying to get the most information that we can pick up and transfer to our players and make sure everybody has the best data possible. And if you have more coaches, more eyes, more intel, you're going to have better decision making, able to make those championship moves and really just understand the nuances. Because like you said, there's so much nuance to our game with those secondaries, with those little micro movements that each player makes in each like quadrant of the field. You could break it down to like the 3 quadrants, and then you've got, players that are going to either press it a little bit or maybe they'll take their time. And if you have intel on that, or a little detail on how they like to play a situation, it's why, like we've been talking about, you guys are so successful today is because of those little details. And I'm sure how many people are a part of your team? There's probably 4 of you guys that are watching everything.
We have 8 or 9 players, and then it depends on the time of the game, because I'm able to utilize a lot of our guys who help coach the youth team or the women's team, and then a lot of the divisionals around. So sometimes the bodies mix out, but yeah, we have a decent amount of people having eyes on everything. Just every little bit of information helps for sure.
Well, yeah, and you have all your divisional teams that travel to all these tournaments as well. That's why it's cool. You guys have a traveling crowd that goes to a whole squad, that's rallying for you guys everywhere you go. And that's all from the home turf. What you guys built and designed, that energy that we were talking about, it's traveling with you too, so being able to have the infrastructure to build that out and then grow a community that truly loves each other and cares about each other. It's something that we haven't seen done quite that way in a very long time, if ever. So kudos to the Texas paintball family out there, just working hard. Everyone's working their asses off out there.
Yeah.
Johnny, if you could instill in an up and coming team, because again, you guys climbed the ranks D4, 3, 2, semi-pro, pro, back to semi-pro, and then you guys did it all. You won throughout the ranks. Say a new team is listening, D4, D3, whatever. And you could give them like one piece of advice, to, be able to become the best team that they could be. What would it be?
The best piece of advice is finding 5 guys who can play every Sunday. And it's not going to be going after necessarily the most talented player, because they always try to cherry pick the snake players from every team like that. That's not necessarily how it works. But if you can find the 5 people that you get along with and you enjoy playing with them, and they can afford it, they can actually be there every Sunday, and they can physically be there and they want to be there, sky's the limit. You just have to keep putting in that work. And then honestly, you can play Saturdays and everything else too. All that helps. But that's the first step. 5 guys who can be there every Sunday.
Love that. I think I agree. Yeah. I mean, that's usually like the first piece of advice if players, reach out and they ask about, a decision, as far as going to another team or how to build a team. And it's always make sure that you have a group of like-minded individuals that are willing to put in the, same amount of work. I think it's important at the start of every season for the team to get on a Zoom call or in-person meeting and say, these are our goals and expectations. If you can't do it, just let us know now and let's go in a different direction. But if you can, we're going to be playing, you know, this many times, this many weekends, and let's all agree to it right now and hold each other accountable. That really is a massive secret to, well, it's not really a secret, right? Just time together. Who would have thought? The more work you put in, often you get good results. Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of this game, is that in a lot of other sports, there's certain prototypes that if you don't have this measurement and run this fast or jump this high, you'll never kind of make it. But with paintball, no matter what your intangibles are, you can find a role for you on the field as long as you're willing to put the effort in and find it. I mean, no one would have bet anything in a million years that someone like Colt would have been able to be a top athlete in this game. Like, even when I was coming up, and even Colt's generation, if you were above 6 foot, essentially, everyone wanted you to be short and fast. And like, that was it. If you weren't playing in the snake, you're not making it to the pros.
Yeah.
But there's other aspects of the game that you can get good at. You can get good at your communication, your break shooting. Just obviously the center plays is a big deal. Everyone can kind of play the Doritos. I saw your little thing on with Ryan. But
so you disagree, it sounds like.
No.
Oh, you do agree? We just said everyone could play the Doritos.
Oh, yeah. So I do disagree a little bit.
Disagree.
A little bit. So, like, obviously there's peak players who can play the Doritos for sure. Like Chavi.
Right.
Chavi can't play the snake though.
Oh, I bet he could.
We tried.
We tried. I mean,
we brought him on the team to be a snake player.
Yeah. Hold on. We got to hash this out.
There's still elite levels of Dorito player for sure.
Yeah.
But on a base level, it's a physical deal, right? Like, okay,
yes,
you can't do this. You need to be over there.
Yes.
But, generally, the snake player skills do transfer.
My argument was that I believe it's more difficult. You have to be much more methodical and process the game at a higher level on the Dorito side than in the snake, which is why you always have the least experienced guy in the snake. That's what every team does. It. As long as you're athletic, it's like the least experienced guy ends up being your one in the snake side. You know, that's how it's always been.
I do agree with that for sure. And a lot of that comes down to layout. 100%.
Sure. Yeah. Especially now, like layout, layout could change everything nowadays, but like a traditional snake and a traditional Dorito side.
You don't want your cerebral player in the snake. I 100% agree.
But the best snake players in the game are the really cerebral ones now too. So again, it's like, it's a very nuanced conversation,
Like even Archie was the one in the snake for a while. And like, Scott Stewart's amazing, but he's not a burner on the field.
No,
there's a lot of other snake players in the league, and he's one of those cerebral snake players. Which
his story is so great too. You know, absolutely. He came from NorCal. We actually trained together out at the same local park in Capitol Edge, Sacramento, out there, and it's amazing what he's been able to accomplish. And also Cyrus, both those players moved to Texas and have had a storied career off of that move. And it just goes to show the grit and determination and drive that's in the organization when you have players with that much ambition,
Absolutely.
Yeah. I did interject though. You were saying something. And you mentioned the Dorito side, and I was like, wait, hold on. Damn it. Did I just derail the conversation?
You're fine.
Yeah. Hey, paintball. I don't care where you're at on the field. They all got guns. Everyone's shooting. It's a tough game. And they both are so unique. The snake side and the Dorito side are just so unique in the way that you approach each one of them. I personally love playing the Dorito side because I just crawl down the side, kind of like Sheer. He does an amazing job. Same with Chavi, using all those blind zones, staying low and getting all those free moves. Snake sides, depending on the layout, a little bit crazier a lot of the times. But it's just so much fun what we're able to do. And what a blessing that we get to still, we're in our 30s running around on this pro field and at the top of the game still,
Yeah, you bring up a good point there. I think so much more frequently as well on the snake side, a player can, just because they went to the snake on the break and then your teammate shoots the other team's snake side on the break, all you do is you crawl down and you have like 4 free bodies and you look like a superstar, but it's not like you didn't really earn anything. That's not hard. That's not a hard thing to do. It looks cool, right. It's a lot of kills, but the Dorito guy has to earn it like every single time, you got to earn it every single time.
My point was that it's easier for me to grab, especially like on a lower level, to grab
Yeah.
a snake player and go have them play Doritos, then grab a Dorito player and put him in the snake. Because
That's
there's
fair.
something weird that happens with players mentally, not necessarily on the pro level, but
It's because they're up on their feet.
yeah.
And then you get in the snake and
themselves.
you're not used to not having information, you
Yeah,
know?
and they're so worried about someone coming over and bunkering them.
Yeah.
You just see them play with fear, and
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
"Oh man, this is it." It takes a very specific individual to not care about that and think about it, and just
You could
crawl
say what you
to-
mean. What do you mean a
crawl to their
specific
side.
individual? Yeah. Well, you could say what you mean.
Well, someone
Not
just they got to have nuts to be able to
Yeah.
go to their side. Understand
Yeah.
that they might get their head blown off, but this is what the
Yeah.
team like in World
Yeah.
War II. They would have been a tunneler.
Mhm.
I'm going to your trench.
For sure.
Mhm.
That's a very specific instinct that you need out of a player that not all of them have that. You have to have a
True.
lot of trust for the people behind you to allow understanding they're not going to let it happen to you, or you just don't give a fuck at all and you're just
Yeah.
a marker, and you can never
We got to
have
go.
on your team
Yeah.
either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
savages
thing
in
that-
there.
We look for that all the time when we have like we're building teams out or we have, even practices, tryouts, whatever. There's certain players that you will never be able to teach them these certain things, and they either got it or they don't.
Yep.
And you got to be able to press. We could make you slower, make you think a little bit more, but if you don't have that sharp tooth and you don't want to go get it, we can't really teach you that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you somewhere else.
Yeah,
You're not
exactly.
gonna be one of the same.
All right, I got a fun segment that I want to run here. It's like quick fire, just current events that are going on. There's been a lot of big moves in the pro circuit. We're heading into 2026 here in a couple weeks, and I'm sure there's probably going to be some more stuff that happens here shortly, but we'll see what's going on. But we got the Tauntauns Arsenal merger, and then we can all just kind of sound off on it or say a little bit. What do you think about that?
I mean, is it a full merger or is it just the Tauntauns playing under Arsenal?
So
My understanding. Sorry, Ty. Yeah.
I think you're right. Go ahead.
My understanding is it's a merger. So I think Benny Carroll's still going to be involved. Colin Laster will still be involved as like the coach. And oh boy,
Who is that?
It's
Someone
not
get a
me.
text?
I think that might be Johnny.
Through my computer. I don't know. How
Oh, damn. That's why it was so loud. Okay. Yeah, it's tough. I don't even know how to adjust that one actually.
Maybe.
It's all right.
I'll put my phone in sleep mode.
But yeah, thank you. Where was I?
Yeah, the Tauntauns merger.
Oh yeah, the merger. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I believe Benny Carroll will still be involved. It sounds like it's Brett Messer that is helped purchase the spot and give a influx of money there to the Tauntauns. I think it's cool. I'm really excited to that Axel's gonna stick with his French teammates. Like that story is really compelling. I've always wanted Axel to win with the Tauntauns in the US. Like it's just a cool story.
I agree.
And they kept the name.
And they kept the name,
Arsenal,
yeah. Definitely a big hit losing Fedorov, though. I mean, that's going to hurt tremendously. So, that's a tough gap to fill with the way that he played this last season.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
It was awesome to see because, like, after the Heat year, you're almost like, oh man, he might be done. He doesn't seem to care as much.
Totally.
And then, this year he was on one. It was awesome.
As a paintball fan, it is awesome because that's again, he's one of the like Mount Rushmore type of players, and the career that he had to see. Really, the last couple seasons, I would argue on Heat, it seemed like he was really disconnected, and didn't care as much. And you're right, that's a conversation. Like, oh man, are we no longer getting to see, the version of Fedorov that we grew up being a fan of? In any other sport, you see it. It's like, Steph Curry or Kobe in his last, couple seasons. It's like it's sad, because you're like you're never gonna see that version again, and then Kobe dropped 60 in his last game, but no, definitely cool to see Fedorov kind of back playing. And I don't think that's going to slow down. We just had John Brinkman, owner of Hurricanes, on, and it sounds like, Fedorov will be living in Texas, and they're going to be playing a lot of paintball, kind of following the Fit model as well. So you're going to see a dangerous version of him again, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think you're right.
For sure. Yeah, that's an interesting one. We'll get the full rosters, I'm sure, pretty soon here. And I would imagine that a good portion of the Tauntauns, if not the whole organization, is coming over, and that they're going to fill out the remaining, 4 spots or whatever with Arsenal players. And then we got AC Diesel. They withdraw from pro, and Wildside is in the pro league now. We got Wildside, Distortion.
Yeah,
Where
but some
are they
weird
from?
stuff happened weird stuff happened with Distortion. So like 3 or 4 of the players actually, from what I heard yesterday, pulled out, and they're recreating Blast Camp in semi-pro with Virgil. And I think Jack's, like, I don't think any of that's confirmed, but this is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm hearing.
If so, that's bad news for the guys playing semi-pro right now.
Yeah, it's going to be the semi-pro bracket is going to be like crazy, because also with all these mergers and teams doing switch, there's a lot of players that I'm sure are going to take opportunities on some of these semi-pro teams as well if they can't find a pro spot. Yeah, it's going to get wild. It's going to get wild side.
Free agents are out there right now.
Well, there's
Corey Hall, Kyle Spica. You know, so I don't know if LJ Parrish. The Aftershock camp has been really quiet.
That's kind of I guess my more specific question is that they all cut? Are they still there? Like what's the whole deal?
I'm not sure. I've heard a bunch of different things. You know, I've heard that Todd wants to, you know, build locally in Florida and have, again, players that can play together often. Then I heard he was considering, you know, bringing the Tauntauns on board, and then that didn't work out. And so, I really don't know. We need to get Todd on the show. He's obviously a huge paintball patron, and you know, I love, you know, how he came in and his plans with Aftershock. And then this last season, you know, talk about people caring. Really, in my opinion, the only reason Aftershock stumbled is because their starters stopped caring as much. You know, the reality is that A-Rod is pursuing a music career as well. He's very talented. He's talented at both, but you can't split your time 50-50 with anything and be the best at something. So, you know, that's unfortunate. Corey Hall, kind of similar thing. You know, I feel like he probably wasn't as applied as normal this last season. LJ Parrish, I think he can get you know, he's going to land on a team if he's not with Aftershock, or maybe, you know, maybe Aftershock does kind of rebuild with him. Who else from over there? Yeah, I guess like the Bears guys. I don't, you know, I doubt they're going to stick around. Curious to see where they go. But yeah, that camp has been like silent. You know, I haven't heard anything. This is all kind of assumptions and hearsay.
Yeah, we got to get Todd on the show. He's the man. And I got to obviously spent years and years with Todd over the time that we've been in the game. He cares more than anybody about his team and his organizations. And so I'm sure that they're going to be looking to bolster and make some stuff happen. And then we got and crazy about AC Diesel. Gonna miss you guys. Always fierce competitors, and thank you for everything that you did.
I'm so sorry. So that is part of it. Like Jesse Stevens and Mark Johnson will be part of Aftershock.
That's what I was hearing, that there's going to be like some type of a merger there possibly. So we could see that. Okay. But that's good news.
Like up in the air. Are they keeping A-Rod? Thomas Kim, again, like such a good player, but he, you know, has been pursuing a career as a pilot as well. So again, it's just like their time was really split this last season. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, we'll see on that.
You were saying the Blast Camp players from that Wildside Distortion team are also leaving, so then the players from Heat and Distortion are coming back together?
That's what I heard.
Okay,
that's what I heard. Yeah, so like 3 Distortion players and some of the Blast Camp guys. So I guess that would be. But how would that work? Because Frey and La Papa are both ranked pro, and you can only have 1 pro, right? Or can you have 2 if they're under a certain amount of points?
I think you can have 2, but depending on whatever rule they're doing as far as how many points you're playing,
right?
That might get work too, because I don't know if La Papa got a whole lot of points. He's very good.
True. Yeah, absolutely.
So depending on how they make that ruling, if they can pull it off, that'd be wild.
Yeah, for sure.
Losing the Blast Camp guys on Distortion, that's going to make their entry into the league much harder,
much more difficult. Right. Yeah, absolutely. You almost wonder if they'll still do it, if they'll still commit to it. I feel like right now, like everyone's playing musical chairs, and it's, you know, as soon as the music stops, like where's everyone going to be? And right now we still totally don't know. And I think it is funny. I feel like every season, the conversation is, semi-pro is going to be so easy this year, you know, because Fit and Blast Camp moved up, and, you know, but then all of a sudden when all those chairs settle, kind of like what Tyler said, like the semi-pro division gets bolstered up and then ends up being really difficult again, you know?
Down and saturated.
Yeah, 100%.
Those guys are looking for a place to play. All those Northeastern teams start getting, whether it's the newbies or I don't know what other teams are from that area, but
there's so many teams on the East Coast that are out there, and it's going to be very interesting to see. And I know last season was crazy, But this one feels a little bit crazier in a different way, where next season when we show up in Tampa, there's going to be like 7 pretty much brand new pro organizations that are a mishmash and a whole new entity and a whole new team altogether. It's very interesting in that regard, to where we're going to see so many new pro teams that have completely new identities with new characters. It's going to be really interesting, like, to see everybody geared up when I'm, walking around the tournament like, oh shit, look at this. Look at this,
Very odd. And I don't
Yeah.
know if it's a bad thing that because teams are folding, or if it's a good thing that like so many semi-pro teams have enough hope that they're like, hey, we can do this. It's hard to find that line if you think things are crumbling, or like, no, this is great, this is the change we need. Hopefully it's the latter. Like, the one thing that is odd to me is the Heat crumbling part, or I guess ownership, because Heat's still there, but ownership hands because of how much they've done for paintball.
Totally.
Hopefully that doesn't hurt us all in the long run, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to hear that. Obviously, the Heat camp is still, like, Ryan Moorhead. He's staying with the new Heat squad. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like with the squad, but he is going to be staying with them. And that name and that bloodline is still very much alive. I know Sarge loves paintball. He cares about paintball, cares about the sport. And I know their whole family does. So they'll, whether it's, tomorrow or the day after or in a week, I know that they're going to be around and still caring about this game. It's been a part of their family and their culture, just like, how much your family loves it. You guys will always be a part of the game, and it's same for them. Definitely.
So they are going to kind of still be active and around it, just not running the pro team.
Thank you all from the bottom of our hearts for the tremendous support with the PTG show. If you are enjoying these episodes and want to help with the progress and development of this program and connect with like-minded, hungry paintball players, then head on over to ptgpodcast.com, click the orange Patreon link, and become a member of the PTG World Discord chat room. And now back to the show. From what I understand, I don't think, because Sarge is one of the owners, and I don't think that that's changing at all. So I know that he's going to be very much involved in paintball and making sure that it's moving in the right directions. I think that just with the team aspect, kind of just taking a step back in that regard.
That makes
But
sense.
yeah, I would love to get their insights as well. Maybe we can have someone from inside the organization shed some more light on that. But that family has done so much for paintball. So hats off to the Heat squad and everything that they've done in the game over so many years in this sport we all love.
Yeah, heat them up.
Yeah, let's go.
Heat them up. Johnny, what as far as the path the league is on with format, you guys run so many different types of tournaments at your local field. I'm sure you spend a lot of time thinking about this kind of stuff. Are there any changes that you would make to the current format that we have?
Well, generally, we're not ones to complain about what is currently going on, but the changes we like to see, we just honestly test them out at our own place and then see how it will go. So one thing we've been working on that we think would be good for paintball going forward is, we call it Hardpoint. It's just like Call of Duty, and we kind of demoed it last weekend. So what it essentially would do is make it to where it's not split tick anymore. It's just complete single, team on team, and it would run just kind of like how the finals do already. So we've already been doing that in the past with our Mech X. But basically what we've done is we've put a center buzzer, so it gives everyone a focal point on what to look at, ideally for cameras and everything. And the problem with our game outside of split deck, where you're not telling that story, is once people just start dying and then the game's over, it's so many like pauses. But if you're watching a hockey game and it's continuously going until somebody scores, honestly, the same thing even with basketball, you have that momentum in the flow of the game. Paintball doesn't have that as much because there's so many breaks and you play each individual point. So what we've done is we put a single buzzer in the center, or it's not actually, let me correct that. It's 2 buzzers, but each team has one on their specific side. So it's a little bit easier to get to, and you're not just getting completely torched. And we're fighting for control of time. So when the game starts, what we did last weekend was 15 on 15. So you had those rosters be able to revive or turn over. You start from the box and you're playing. As soon as you hit the buzzer in the center, your clock starts counting up for that control time. It goes out, red team's in control. Now the other team's got to go up there and hit their buzzer, and their clock stops essentially, then yours starts. When you hit the buzzer, you're dead. So you can't just get up there and spawn camp. When you run off the field, you essentially go to a dead box, which we can designate anywhere. As soon as he gets in there, the next player is able to respawn from a spot that we try to make it as impossible to spawn camp, so that the game just continues going. And then you can keep playing that 5-on-5 style paintball. And we had a decent amount of success with it last weekend. The main issue that people would have is, oh, what about bunkering and like running down the field? We still allow people to get to their side on the 50. So like if people end up being at the 45 and 45, you can go through to bunker that person. But even if you get them completely clean, you have to be dead, because we want to limit the spawn camping to a minimum, and it doesn't just completely lock up the field. So now the game actually feels a lot more like Call of Duty. You're still hunting kills, and you're honestly shooting people than you ever would in a regular match. But there's a central focus to where, if people don't understand what's going on, because when I bring out new people to the field, they're watching the game and they're like, well, why is he dead? What's happening? And then they don't know where to look. People are just walking off and they can't tell why someone's good or bad. This, they can at least walk up and look at it and go, okay, got it. Everyone's trying to go from here. And then you're able to see people get obliterated going forward, or they make it clean. And it's chaos, absolute chaos, but it's easy to understand for someone just watching. And then it doesn't change a lot of the gunfights and even the strategic parts. And it's actually, when we've done games like this in the past, trying them, it's actually a nice teaching tool to teach people how to move in space, to try to go up to those spots and using blind spots. And then it's an easy way for me to teach people how to do zone control, because now they really understand why they're doing it, to stop them from getting that next spot. And it's been pretty nice for me to help a lot of the up and coming guys coming up. But I love that. That's essentially the change that I want to see going forward. And I think the more we work on it, I think this will give us something that is good for television, and hopefully getting more people into it, because it is relatable to video games for the most part. You're seeing people in, and it's a constant action game. And we were even able to hype it up, just like yelling on the mic the whole time as people were playing. And people are all yelling from the sidelines, because it's not affecting the game as much. Like right now, it's like taking someone to golf, and you take them there and they start talking, and their kid shoots somebody and they start cheering, and everyone's shh, excited. Like, it's not fun at all. But as soon as you yell on the sidelines and they feel like they can do something for them, they just start coming back to the game, just because that was so much fun. Let's do that again. Same reason we all go to sporting events. Just fun and cheering and having a great time. And that's how we'll actually build a lot of fans, not from the people playing the game. Right now, we're just trying to have fandoms that are actually playing the game all at the same time. And that it's so limited. We have to give the fans something more to enjoy while they're there. And then we can reach so many more people. And to be honest, if Colt didn't come around paintball when there was sideline coaching, he never would have played. He was completely terrified. He wanted nothing to do with it. His first time going out, he got shot in the neck and was like, I'm done. But he still was coming out to the field with us. And while we were there, or while he was there anyways with the family, we called him Noodle Boy. All of Texas known him as Noodle Boy, because he had these orange pool noodles, and he would go down the snake and waving the noodles wherever the snake player was. And he was just yelling out codes and
damn. Well, that's
at a young age. But
that's how we started, when there was, sideline coaching and all that good stuff as well. And it was an interesting time in the game. It was crazy. I know March, he's a paintball purist. He's like, buzzers. He heard buzzers.
Buzzers.
I don't want the game to change.
Yeah.
I just have to think there has to be another way to at least get more people going in.
I'm with you.
If that makes sense. I don't think Field Man's the answer. And it's just it's just a watered down version of what we're already doing. But we have to get the crowd involved, and we have to make it easy for them to understand. And if these big TV companies are coming in with their awesome cameras and everything, we have to make it easy on them to film, to showcase it, because we don't have a lot of opportunities to be able to, you know, showcase the sport. So you want to make it as easy on them as possible and make it as entertaining as possible. So with, at least with this format, you're getting a lot of bunkering, you're getting a lot of people getting torched. And again, it's very easy to understand. And at least there's also more room. So like say if we are all playing this on the pro stage eventually, there's more room for us to bring on players, where now it's really hard for us to bring that new group of kids up. That makes sense.
That was one of the things that
our roster could play this by themselves. So we're like, no, where are these little fast kids? They're coming to need you.
Yeah.
And then they start getting, you know.
And that's why Tyler and myself got opportunities at such a young age. It's because it was full X ball. So you had 15-man rosters and all 15 had to play because it was a long match.
50 minutes.
So, you know, so it's 2 25-minute halves. So it's like a different time, you know, and kids these days, they, you know, there's a lot of young kids that I work with that they feel behind because they're like, well, you went pro at 15 and Tyler went pro at 13 and, you know, Mouse went pro at 16, whatever. And like, you're comparing apples to oranges. It was a different time. You know, there were so many more opportunities because of the roster spots. If it was in today's day and age, I probably wouldn't have gotten an opportunity at that age, you know, maybe a few years later, but the reality was different back then, you know? And so I do agree. I would love to see us moving in direction to go back towards the longer games, X-ball style, obviously get rid of split deck. That's like the most ideal situation for professional paintball, in my opinion. Bigger rosters, quicker turnaround times, you know, maybe 45 seconds instead of 2 minutes.
Yes.
You know, I do think, you know, I don't want to cut down the in-between time too much because I think with the right production team, you would be able to do a lot in that time in between with instant replay and really explaining what just happened and building the hype and the excitement. As for the fan participation, I've said this for a long time on the show too. I think it'd be really cool if like, you do allow people in the stands to yell, scream, you know, coach, whatever, but the stands need to be high and kind of pretty far back. So it doesn't like, you know, totally affect. Yeah. Cause even watching like the, you know, Navy, Army games and stuff at World Cup where they allow sideline coaching, I was like, this is chaotic. This is like absolutely crazy, but it was exciting and the fans are like super into it. You know, they love it. So I think there's a way to kind of marry both to where, you know, these great moves aren't taken away from someone on the sidelines coaching, but fans are still allowed to participate, you know, and it's like, there is a way to do that. I think elevated and kind of further back helps. And that also creates a better viewing experience. You know, like that is the best way to view the game is you need to be kind of higher and looking down. What about 4 pods? Sounds like they're probably going to go to 4 pods. How does Fit feel about that? Because even your snake guy carries 12 pods. So
right. Yeah. And honestly, do I want to go to 4 pods? No, but, we practice so much with 4 pods, 2 pods. It really doesn't bother us. But what people don't understand is it's going to slow the game down. They think that 4 pods is going to speed things up. The layout is what speeds things up or slows things down. The 4 pods thing, every time we remove pods on our back at practice, the games last longer. Because what tends to happen is as soon as you start getting low on paint, people think they're going to run around. Players don't do that. They get low on paint and then they don't do anything because they don't want to make a mistake. So now just no one's shooting. The game is super boring. And here we are. We're just in this stalemate waiting for someone to make that mistake. And you're playing that cat and mouse game, which can be entertaining to some, but it's not going to be entertaining as a whole. It's not going to be better for TV. TV needs paint flying in the air and people gun battling. When you have a full pack, you have full confidence and everyone's shooting their paint and gun battling. And that's when you get those faster points and things are going. If you want it to speed up, change the layout where you can just sit on a gap.
I mostly agree with that. I do think it speeds it up a little bit just from the years of experience in Europe, but I got to be honest too, often those layouts are just a little faster.
Yes.
I agree. The layout is the most important thing for speeding up or slowing down the game. I do think it kind of, in my experience in Europe, it kind of trims out that middle part of the game where you have a 5-on-5 and both sides are just, you know, sitting there shooting 3 to 4 pods. And then you get into the second, you know, the third phase of the game, kind of closing a little bit quicker. But no, it's layout. It's all layout. Like to me, here's what I believe creates a fast point. Being able to shoot people off the break and not having spots cross field that you cannot put in that can shut down an entire zone. You got to be able to put people in to have confidence to make moves. Otherwise, good players aren't just going to close their eyes and make a move,
Right.
you know? And shooting people off the break really speeds games up. So when you just block things out so that both sides can make the snake and the 30-yard line Dorito off the break, well, guess what? Now there's no advantage to being there. Both teams are there. You're close. So it's going to slow down a ton, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they had buzzers, wouldn't have to worry about that, huh?
I
No.
gotta go.
So hold on. I do want to talk about what he was debuting at his field, because you're right. We've spoke about this on the show. Okay, what's working? Let's look at what works in the real world. Yeah, Call of Duty, successful. There's these certain formats, highly successful, and it's an easy transfer to a viewer who's going to watch it and go, "Oh, I already know this game. I've played this 1,000 times on my Xbox or PlayStation. So I'm already a fan of this because I understand it." Now we just gained millions of fans to a thing that they're already familiar with and they understand. And it's not a transfer of format to their brain. They get it. They understand how to play. And now they're thinking, well, shit, I love that so much. I might want to go to my local paintball park and try to play some of that. That looks fun. I'm trying to do that. So I think that you are onto something here of transferring what already works in the real world. Let's make something that's applicable to that. And then I'm always going to stand up for the style of paintball that I love the most, which is traditional, because there's something special about the sneakiness and the teamwork, the layers of the field that you have to break through. There's just so many of these nuances that we talked about on the show already today that are so much fun for me to work through that I'll never not be a fan of that. But I have to be open to new frontiers and new ideas that are going to help my sport and the sport that we all love, and I think that you're really onto something here with whether it's a domination style or what's this one called with the buzzer in the middle?
Hard point. So on domination, I guess on that one, you have your own base, and then there's the center one. This one's just going to be in that center one. So you're basically playing like king, with other names later, but actually just coming for that time of control in the center. That way, everyone's going to the same point all the time. Cameras can always be on the right spot, and it's makes it simple.
Without a doubt. What if you had one in the middle, one on the right side, and one on the left, and then it switches? Okay, this point
you can for sure. I'm not smart enough to do that yet, but I can talk to the programmers. But for now, I just wanted to do that one, and you absolutely can do that. You just need a lot more photographers being ready and understanding
the switch
going. But like with what we hear, the game was very easy to ref. It was very easy to film, and like I said, it was very easy to understand, to explain it to the refs, explain it to everyone, and just everyone's first time playing it, and it all work out and have very minimal issue.
Yeah.
But
did Verb like it?
Yeah, Verb absolutely loved it.
Well, he's the commissioner of all videography, so if the commissioner likes it, then we're on the right track.
But in no way, shape, or form do I want to. So there's kind of two hats. This is what I think will help grow paintball, and then as a competitor, I don't want any change. We just won the series. Why do I want to change anything? You have to. It's two different.
Of course,
for sure.
Yeah.
Make all the gaps big. I want all the paint.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, it's I do think it'll help, but I don't want our form of paintball right now to change to it. I want it to be a completely separate thing.
Well,
trying to do.
That's a big conversation that's being had because everyone wants to keep playing what we're playing. We love paintball. We love the way it is, and it's a great sport. The way we have it is phenomenal. There are entities that are looking at this game, big entities that are looking for something that is going to do what you're talking about, that is going to capture a viewer and draw them in immediately, have an easy transfer. And obviously it all comes down to dollar bills. They want as many people viewing as they possibly can, and however they can make that as strong as it can possibly be, that's what it's going to come down to. So I think that having different variations of the game is not a problem. It's just like skateboarding, the vert skaters don't hate the park skaters, and there's so many different facets of all these different sports, and they all make that sport stronger. And there will be a place for the 3v3s, the 10v10s, the 1v1s, And then you'll have, you know, maybe this variation with, I don't know what you would even call it, but hard point, you know,
Buzzer ball.
Yeah. Where you're attacking the buzzer and holding down the fort, and you won't see Marcelo out there. Okay.
Just see you later. See you later. I'll be on the beach somewhere.
Honestly, I think you really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fucking.
Because
See, the thing about March,
you want to set your whole team up in a certain area. Like, no, we have to get to this spot.
Yeah.
Like a lot of strategy starts getting worked into it. The same stuff we already do. You're just playing around that style.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. I played this. I've done this in scenario games where you got to, like, it's the stick thing. The what do they call it? There's something stick. You got to, like, go and you it's either the blue side or the red side. You got to control it for a certain amount of time. And it was fun. It is fun. No doubt. It's a nice spin on the game. But damn it. I don't believe that changing the format is what we need to do. To me, it's all about how we showcase what we already have. Like, look at any sport. They're all games, and they're all kind of silly. Like, football really is kind of silly. Like, if you think about it, if you actually break down, like, all the different jobs and roles in football, it's, like, really funny.
But it's focused. It's focused.
Well, and the production.
Exactly. Like, if football was to where it's anyone who makes it to the touchdown, it would be so chaos that no one knows who to look at. And then one guy breaks free and they're all trying to tackle each other and block each other to make one person go. That's what people are watching right now with paintball. They don't know where to look with all the engagements.
Yeah. See, the only reason I push back on the focal point argument is because, again, for us as experienced viewers, we don't feel that way watching paintball. We know what we're watching unfold. We understand the complexity of what's happening. When I first started watching football, even though there's a focal point, I had no clue what was going on. It was incredibly confusing. You know, like, if you watch with somebody that didn't grow up watching football or hasn't ever cared about football, they watch, and even with the focal point, not only do they have zero interest, they do not understand what's going on, even though it's such a simple concept. So to me, that really tells me that it's all about doing a better job of explaining what's happening. And so it's up to the commentators and the production team to have, you know, really in-depth, like, instant replays and breakdowns of, you know, what's happening in real time. And people need more exposure to it, you know, like, because if we enjoy watching it, then I think other people would too, as long as they understood it. And that's the reality. And then also, you know, I love watching football, but I don't love watching football teams that I don't care about, you know, and it's the same game. Yeah. It's the same exact game. So what does that tell you? It's like, humans you care more about the story, right? You care more about the connection you have with the team or players or whatever than the actual game itself. Like, at the end of the day, they're just games. It's who is selling the game the best. You know, like,
I 100% agree. As far as trying to capture that with our guys, the hard part is, and I agree with you a lot on, like, how the game should be talked about and everything. It's just a tall ask on the videographers and the commentators to be able to pull that off to get us in the right direction. At least we haven't been able to do it yet. But everyone's not like trying. Like, people are trying. We can't showcase it the right way. But with what you're talking about with the premier games, I think that the answer there, with same format, everything's exactly the same. If all of our matches were true X-Ball and we played them all exactly like how we play the finals, we can't fit everyone on the pro field. I get the issue. Well, just like you're saying, the non-marquee games need to be on the premier field then, and you got to earn your way onto it. Yes. And if you're a team that people like to watch,
yes,
whether you're good or bad, if you got fans and they're tuning in, you earned it. Good job.
Totally, dude.
So then now we're all rewarded to try to get more fans and try to tune in.
Yeah.
Listen to PTG.
Do it. Give him the
show. Yeah. Hey.
Give him a round of applause. Come on, let's do it. Let it rip. Yeah.
But yeah, everyone else can play on the premier field, which isn't a big deal. We were just a few years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I totally agree. It's what, look, the NFL literally just moved a Sunday night primetime game. They switched out the teams. You know, they had what they thought was going to be a marquee matchup, you know, at the start of the season, and because of injuries and the playoff race, it's no longer. So they literally just switched it because they want the primetime game to be a game that people tune into, because views matter. building the league and the format and the play around the show rather than building the show around the format is the direction we need to move to. It's as a sport, that's very important that we start doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's the simple answer. We're able to build the drama up, build up the character power of what we do have. And then
totally
outside of the film on the field, you almost have to get everyone wearing those glasses and being able to live stream from them. If that makes sense, where you could just kind of tune in, like, well, I want to see exactly what Marcelo is seeing. And as soon as we can do that, then our game is more understandable and people can tune in and watch exactly what they want to watch. And they can understand because they can be seeing what exactly you see and who you're talking to. And then everything makes a little bit more sense. But until we can get to that point,
that's right.
People can view from that area the same way they do view the video games because they're viewing it in whatever person or whatever it's called.
Totally.
That. But unfortunately, I don't think we have the capability to live stream to them all the way across the board yet. But as soon as we can figure out how to do that,
that's not far
onto something.
Yeah, that's not too far away either. We're right on the cusp of all that. But you're right. It brings in the viewer to where they can hear the conversations. Because right now, all they see is from the bird's eye view, from these different angles. But the magic is happening in the comms. That's where the picture is painted for everybody, not only as a player, but for the viewer. They're like, okay, this is what they're working on. And then giving the viewer the power to go from, okay, I want to look at this player. All right, I'm going to jump to Paintball Fit side and see what they're talking about, see what they understand.
Go from, say, like the snake can to their snake can and literally have these people battle and see where they're looking. Like, that would be amazing to be able to do and just watch them. Like, one as, coaching and trying to get info, but two, just enjoying the game. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And obviously, we make it
able to see like Adam eyes when he's like reading the defense. Dude, that'd be sick.
Hell
absolutely.
We make it sound so simple. I know it's not as easy as we make it sound, but that type of technology is not too far out. And I think you're right. That'll make it is here. Just we got to dial in exactly how it processes. And I know that safety and making sure that there's because some of them have microphones and all that kind of stuff. So it would just have to be strictly video only on the glasses, obviously, to where there's no type of cheating going on.
The league would just hand them out, right?
Only comes
exactly.
Out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You have to do it that way.
Where do you make it? If the coach is just able to talk to their players, how football is already. There's people in their helmets, whether you're the mic on the defense or you're the quarterback, they're talking to them. So there's only so much you really do. But as long as both teams have it, and there's one person designated talking to one player on your team.
How could you imagine? That'd be kind of sick.
It would be awesome, right? As long as everyone's doing it and it is helping the team out.
Yeah. I've always thought that the players on the field should have microphones that they can communicate with each other. To each other, and then you allow fans to get as loud as you want, allow them to yell, right? And it doesn't matter. But
talk normal.
Yeah, that'd be badass. And then you could like tune into so-and-so, you could tune into Tyler's mic and like hear just, calm conversations with him and JC or Rainey or whoever.
And all the shit talking, the whole deal.
Oh yeah, everything. Yeah, really.
Or something to listen to it.
It really would.
I love it. All right, I got before we go, I think we're gonna head into. We got some Discord questions. We'll ask you one of those. Danny Schoenauer went to Infamous. Mike Urena to Dynasty. Tom Four is a part of 2 teams this season with the Tauntauns and Dynasty. That's interesting. And we got Archie Barnes to Dynasty and Stephen O'Mara to Dynasty. There's a lot of big moves that have been going on here. Collisions in the Pro, and then Tom Guest just went to X Factor. So those are kind of the breaking news items that we have right now.
Yeah, I think that makes X Factor better for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Dynasty definitely got a boost with all that.
Yep. Yeah.
Interesting to see how they get them all on the field. I think that'll be the biggest issue with them.
100%. They have 4 players that play 3 spots, and they're all like really high level players. So it's going to be a tough mix. If they have all 4 of them on the field, they're going to be light and attacker on one of the sides, so curious to see how they deploy that for sure.
Yeah. Ryan's a guy though, so I'm sure they'll figure it out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Put Ryan in the snake. He'll be in the snake.
Yeah.
He loves the snake. We had this whole conversation. All right, take your paintball fit hat off, your competitor hat off, and just put paintball fan hat on. What has your favorite off-season move been so far this year?
There's been a lot of them.
There has.
There have been a lot. Last year was more like
most of the moves I don't like, as a fan at least. But if I'm a fan and excited to see how they do, it would probably be Dynasty, seeing Archie go there. Because I think having Archie over there with Dynasty, because he lives over there, correct?
He's in NorCal. He's in NorCal.
Okay, but close enough.
Yeah, he won't be at practices that the team. I don't think will have practices outside of like the 2, maybe a third one before the events. And that's like it's like an 8-hour drive. I guess he lives up near Yosh and Alex. Yosh and Alex live in the same area as him, but they're like 8 hours from Ryan and myself down in San Diego.
Gotcha. Well, still, as a fan, I would like to see how Dynasty does in comparison to how they trailed off last year, if that makes sense. I think it'll be good for paintball in general. Like generally when Dynasty's doing good, everyone's having a good time. They have such a big fan base. Like it's good for paintball for sure. Like as a competitor, I don't want to see them do as good as us. I don't want to see them do bad ever. But like it definitely makes me like, okay, well, they're definitely going to be better this year for sure. And I'm excited for Archie as a person. He's pretty awesome. So I'm
agreed.
I want to see him do very well for them. And obviously Ryan is the GOAT in the game. So I think this is a nice way to give them a lot of firepower to keep him playing, because I don't want to see him retire. And then we have a really good relationship with Blake too. So I think this is exciting. Hopefully they let him just feast in the center more. If I'm on
stop saying that. Stop saying that. You left too much of the fan. You left too much of the fan hat on.
Yeah.
No, 100%. When Blake is in all the events we won, you know, Blake was such a big part of it, you know, and how he was doing in the center. Just, you know, it's one of those things, and it's a position where you're never going to have like a high percentage, you know, you're not going to be 80% success rate up there. But if you're 51%, like it's such a big deal, because even the other 49, the team you're playing against has to plan for you. You know, they have to turn guns and make sure that somebody's on you, which opens up the outside. So
he's a beast.
He's a beast. Yeah. He's one of the best. I think he's still like, I don't know, sometimes underappreciated.
I feel that.
Get it,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
As a competitor, I love seeing him not on the field.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, let him eat. Like,
100%. Yeah.
Let him go. Like a lot more
100%.
Kirill. Like if Kirill's not on the Russians aren't the Russians. Like you have to deal with him so much in the center and account for him.
Yeah.
Everyone else on his team so much opportunity.
Yep.
And
Yep, for sure.
Hopefully
Important players to have.
He doesn't use Blake like that next year.
Yeah. That was a big part of your guys' success at World Cup last year. You know, Cyrus up the middle, he did a great job of, he had really good timing and patience. And for such a new player, I mean, Cyrus's story is amazing, you know, for how quickly he climbed through the ranks, and then to have that success at World Cup was really cool to see, because he showed a lot of patience. He attacked when needed. Like he was always a threat. Just really played it masterfully.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Cyrus has been awesome. So he had started coming out and playing the Champions series with us, and he'd play alongside Colt, and that's kind of how we got to know Cyrus a little bit better. And you're honestly able to see how the player reacts in real tournament situations, how he's able to take criticism and the whole deal much better than like a tryout, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then so that we learned a lot from that then. And obviously as time went, we kept our tabs on him, but we didn't really need that player. And then after we won this semi-pro series going in, our MVP player actually had to quit playing paintball. And we're like, well, shit. Well, Cyrus, if you were serious about ever moving here,
let's go.
If you want to do this. And he packed his bags and made it work.
Badass.
No, he's been amazing. And he puts in so much effort and has so much attention to detail that he rarely makes the same mistake twice, which is fantastic. It's really nice. I rarely have to talk to him about the same thing over and over. But even going into that event, we had our best our best finish that first pro year in that Chicago, but we got the dog shit beat out of us by the Russians, and it was because we couldn't stop their center attack, and people weren't willing to go up and meet fire with fire up there. So like that was a big learning lesson for me personally, and I'm like, okay, I'm never going to let that happen again. So like as soon as we lost that tournament, every practice nonstop, that's all we focused on, was being able to stop the center and attack the center ourselves. And it was literally just me just trying to bully them in the center nonstop and just having to deal with me and then getting them to do the same thing. So it was literally every practice, every weekday, every weekend. Like that's all we worked on from cup or from Chicago to cup. And then, yeah, it definitely
Nice.
It paid off.
helped round out our game for sure. Cause
Yeah.
that was a big missing piece.
Yeah, no doubt.
And honestly, it's all 100% to Kirill. Kirill even told us, and he's like, "This is what you guys are missing. You need center presence." And so, I know this is off topic, but Kirill has been there helping us all the way from D5 when they first came out to Paintball Fit when we built it. They came down and practiced, and has just been along the way the whole time, giving us tips and helping us out. And like they've been awesome. And we modeled almost everything we do off how they train, how much they dedicate to it, and just can't say enough nice things about all those guys.
Yeah,
Well,
Kirill specifically is amazing. You know, I really got a lot of respect for him, the way he operates, the way he moves. You know, a few years ago, he would like do like a big write up after every event. And I just remember how much I enjoyed reading them, and like his thought process and ability to articulate stuff is like always really fascinating. We had him on PTG as well. Just such a great dude. And it's been awesome to see him also have like a revival of his career, you know, after tearing his Achilles. And the last couple seasons, he has been a menace in the middle and playing so damn well. And you're right. He's a huge reason that team has had success. And, you know, when they don't have success, it's usually because Kirill's not having a great event.
Yeah.
You can just see how much he cares, man.
Yeah.
It just pours out of him. Even every conversation you have with Kirill, the guy is just one of the nicest individuals you ever meet. Cares a lot about paintball, man. And we got CM Harry. He wants to know, what is the next big thing for Paintball Fit? What's going on with you guys? Are you making any changes for the season?
No, not unless we have to. We normally don't make changes unless someone gets hurt or just, you know, life happens. But for now, like we've just been nonstop going to Mavs games and Stars games. And
there you go.
We've been playing a lot more paintball right now rather than practicing. So we do a lot of like fun challenges. And like last weekend, we did a scenario event we all went to, and, you know,
love that.
Drinking and shooting people. Slapstick part of it. But
there we go.
Shouldn't be any big changes. Just trying to refocus up and be better next year. Like
that's what I was talking about. Slapstick. That's what it's called. The paintball game version, or like the scenario game. That's what I was talking about. Nice.
Yeah, those moments are so important too, man. Just having fun, going out there, running around. I got the cactus crew out here in the desert. That's our like little group of cronies that all just run around and have fun. So that's what it's all about.
No, it's a great time. Actually, we are adding a player back this season. So Brody coming back and actually playing. He tore his hamstring the first event in Tampa. If you go back and watch in our first match, he played the first 2 points. We won the first point against Gulf Coast, and then or New Orleans Hurricanes, whatever they're called. And the second point, his gun was hot and he had to like run back, and then he's late on the buzzer, and it was like on that run out there running all the way to the field, it just came up. And then during that time of healing, he just spent a lot more time taking over a lot of the shoe repair part of my parents' business, and he's like, let me focus on this now. I'll come back when I'm ready. And now he's ready.
Now he's ready.
He's wanting it, and that something about that last not winning kind of lit a fire under him. So I'm like, hell yeah. Now we got
glad to hear. Glad to hear he's back
on the snake side if and when we need it. So I'm very excited to have him back.
Yeah, man. That's the family, dude. That's what it's all about. Those moments. And I know that he's going to be stoked to be putting in the work and being out there with the squad. So that's good. Love that.
Yeah, 100%. So we actually like Alan Fong, Dilly Kills, we really answered and talked about these questions. You know, it's kind of like the start of Hydra and all that. So my last question is just a iconic one on the show from Verbal. He wants to know, always does, what's your favorite food and favorite place to eat it?
It's a hard one. I mean, it's not a hard one. Taco Bell is probably the go-to, but that's
your,
Ring
your
the bell.
favorite.
but
Hold on.
that's not a good answer. But like when you're coming home for whatever reason, that's the one that's always talking to me.
Oh, you're gonna get killed for that one, dude.
But like I like a lot of good food all the way across the board. Like we travel and we do all the stuff. Like I love all the Philly cheesesteaks and we go to Angelo's and all that whole deal. Like
I'm with you, baby. Taco Bell, let's go.
All right, favorite order from Taco Bell. What's the order from
what do you
Taco
get?
Bell? Cheesy gordita crunch, Mexican pizza. What do we got?
So you get 2 cheesy gordita crunches, and then you get 2 sides of the spicy ranch that come with it, and then you get 2 beefy 5 layers, and then
Now
you
we're
get
talking.
2 sides of creamy jalapeno, and then 2 sides of the nacho cheese.
Yeah, let's go.
Together, dude.
No, I'm with you.
The reason I can't keep my body right. That's the problem. Too much Taco Bell and not enough stretching. But
Dude, it's so good though.
dude,
It
it's a
is
problem.
fire. No, you're right. Like when I'm done with the practice or something and I have like a long drive and it's just right there screaming at me, I'm like, all right, I'm coming to see you.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
Well, they put something in there that
For sure.
get you going, and they know it too because they're raising their prices, and it costs more to Taco Bell than like going to a regular restaurant right now.
It's insane.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, why are we all here? We like this
They got you addicted.
Everyone's like,
Yeah, they hooked you. All
Oh,
right.
man, they got us.
They got us. Well, man,
this has been fun.
Absolutely, Johnny. We really appreciate your time, man. It's always fun talking to any of the fit guys. You guys are just a great group of individuals. Is there anywhere that the listeners can support? Obviously, Paintball Fit, but any personal shout outs or, your Instagram that you would like to share?
Yeah, everyone go support us on YouTube. Watch all the Fit Lives. We're trying to do we're putting a lot of effort into making good content for everyone, showing both the serious side of paintball. So, event breakdowns, match breakdowns, the whole deal. And then also doing fun challenges and just showing us, horsing around and what our lifestyle is kind of about. So support that. It means a lot. And comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. So we can keep putting out that content for us, because it doesn't necessarily make money, but I personally think that it's very important to do. So we're trying to document as much as possible and put it out there. And hopefully it's good for paintball and inspires more people to want to play, because honestly, we probably wouldn't be where we are to this extent if they didn't come out with Cena didn't come out with the Impact series back then. So I would watch the Impact series when we were starting playing, and I'm like, this looks amazing. Like, this is all I want out of life, and we could all just go do this. Like, let's chase this dream. And that's what we've been chasing. And then honestly, the crappy part is they're going to Europe and doing all these things. And then we finally go there. We win our Europe spot. And then they're like, no American pro teams. I'm like, dude, I just 6 years chasing this dream, and then you kill it.
Oh, God.
It's terrible. It sucks.
Yeah.
It's awful. I know. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah, we got to get back out there.
Support on YouTube. Obviously, support Hydra. All of that helps fund the team, pay the guys. So you're every one of us that you actually enjoy, and you want to support Cyrus, you want to support Chavi, Colt, Trenton, the whole deal. As long as you support Hydra, it's directly supporting them, allowing them to play. That money goes to their families and them personally. And the bigger the brand grows, it helps them out.
Awesome.
Love that. And then where can people follow that? Is it just Hydra Paintball on Instagram?
Yeah, there's Hydra Paintball and then Hydra Fit. So for a while, we didn't own the Hydra Paintball. It was like some Canadian thing, but now we actually do. So now we do Hydra Paintball. So whether you look up Hydra Paintball or Hydra Fit, it'll both come to us.
All right, perfect. Well, everybody go support, show some love, and we will see you in just a couple months here out in Tampa. We'll be playing at the Buccaneer Stadium shortly.
Oh, and sorry, we got to give a plug. This Wednesday night, we have the PTG Christmas party for the goats. one of the ways to support PTG is through the Discord and the GOAT membership. We do like a private show once a month where we, it's very intimate. We answer a lot of, questions that we don't usually let air to the public. And the Christmas episode is always like the most epic one. We do tons of giveaways, all sorts of really cool stuff. It's a, couple hour fiesta. Actually, at our big shout out to Scott Stewart as well, because he gave us some Welts long sleeves that we were able to give away at the last GOAT meeting, which was pretty epic. So also, support that too. It really is. Yeah, it truly is. But this Wednesday, so you guys can sign up and you will get the link, and it's a really good time. It's a lot of fun.
Are you wearing the Santa suit?
We'll see.
What do you
see? We'll see.
All right, well, we'll see everybody on Wednesday. We got the GOAT party, and thank you so much, Johnny. Thank you for stopping by, baby.
All right, guys. Peace.
All right, later, dude. Peace.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to the show. We appreciate your support more than you know. As you guys heard about midway through the episode, if you guys would like to support PTG in any way, you could head over to ptgpaintball.com. You could click the orange Patreon link and sign up at any level and get access to our Discord. The Discord is one of the most phenomenal communities in the game of paintball. We have so many different channels in there. It's great for learning. It's great for connecting, finding teams, selling equipment, whatever it is you want to do in there. We truly have it all. And we hope to see you in there. So again, head over to ptgpaintball.com, click the orange Patreon link, and we'll see you in there.